He who controls food controls the world.
Let's hear it for vegetables. Yeah!
During World War II, victory gardens, as they were called, helped feed troops and their families. First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt had one. That's the last time there was a victory garden here. Armed with a pitchfork and a shovel, First Lady Michelle Obama digs into her next project, an 1,100 square foot vegetable garden on the south lawn of the White House.
Now, a farm bill. The government is going to tell you what you could grow on your farm, how to grow it, but could they tell you how to grow your garden? Really? No big deal. Or yet another sign the government really doesn't know its boundaries.
I want to make sure that our family, as well as the staff, and all the people who come to the White House and eat our food, get access to really fresh vegetables and fruits.
A number of food safety bills are circulating in Congress now, and I've been a lot of phone calls on these to my radio program. It's happened after the peanut scare. One of them threatens to wipe out small farmers, and you could even be in trouble for growing a tomato in your backyard. It's the Food Safety Modernization Act. With me now is Tim Whiteman. He owns a small dairy farm in Ohio. Also, Debbie Stockton. She's with the National Independent Consumers and Farmers Association. Debbie, let me start with you. People are calling me up left and right and saying this thing is a nightmare for anybody with a farm, even a garden down the road. Is any of that true?
Yeah, sure, it's absolutely true. The way the bill is written, it has very broad language, and it says that a food production facility shall be considered to be every farm, ranch, orchard, aquacultural facility, vineyard, or confined animal feeding operation. Well, what the bill does not exclude explicitly, it includes implicitly. It does not define farm. It doesn't say a farm is this, that, or the other. It simply says every farm.
Judging from this map of the new garden, there will be plenty to go around. Spinach, kale, fennel, rhubarb, collard greens, even mint. And there will also be a couple of beehives, homemade honey.
That could be regulated now?
Absolutely. And just if they say, well, it's not our intent, that's absolutely meaningless, because intent has no bearing on what is actually the language in the law. And like I said, if it does not explicitly exclude something, then it's implicitly included.
Okay.
Let's hear it for vegetables. Yeah!
Wait. Why wouldn't they do it? Why are they passing this law if they're not going to do some of these things?
Oh, they will. They're just not going to do all of them all at once. I mean, what they're going to say is, oh, this isn't going to affect the small farmer. This is for areas where we feel that there is a genuine food safety hazard. And they're not going to go after small farmers right away, but they will eventually.
Okay.
And it will simply put small farmers out of business.
Is total traceability, which means if I take my products to a farmer's market, you, Mr. Beck, will have to fill out a form telling me what you bought and when you plan to consume it, so I can keep it on record. If something should happen and they trace it back to the farmer's market, they can call you and say, don't eat that stuff because it may get you sick.
Hey, I still have a little bit of common sense in me. If you said to me, Mr. Beck, you got to fill out this paperwork and tell me when you're going to consume it so I can keep it on record, you know what I'd say to you? None of your damn business.
Let's hear it for vegetables. Yeah!
Everything grown here will either be cooked in the White House kitchen or sent to a local soup kitchen.
I mean,
exactly.
Debbie, what happens to us if I don't want to fill out the form, or if the farmer says he's not going to fill out the form?
Well, good question, and that is going to happen. I mean, I can pretty much guarantee it, because you're talking about hundreds of thousands of farmers. I mean, small farms are the fastest growing economic sector in the country. They're growing by an order of about 10,000 a year. And they are simply not going to allow this to happen, for the federal government to come onto their property and tell them what they can and cannot do.
How's this going to hurt you?
As is most foods in these new bills, everything is considered hazardous. Raw milk's always been vilified for a long time, so now I'll be producing a hazardous product, and if I don't follow the rules the way the government says I should follow the rules, they can shut me down.
So what is
Kill my cows, take them away.
Who's going to tell you guys? Tell me if I'm wrong. Who's going to benefit from this? Big farm.
Oh, the major corporations. That's
Absolutely.
right.
Oh, major corporations.
That's all this is a vehicle. That's exactly what this is. This is a vehicle for increasing That's right. Increasing markets for the large corporations in industrial agriculture.
Let's hear it for vegetables. Yeah! Let's hear it for vegetables.
Let me tell you about Codex Alimentarius. Let me define it for you. Let me help you understand the enemy. And let me assure you that absolutely nothing that I'm going to tell you is exaggerated, is interpolated, or is imagined. Everything I'm going to tell you is documented. And it's a great deal of it is documented on my website, which is www.healthfreedomusa, one word, healthfreedomusa.org. He who controls food controls the world. And so they created a trade commission. That's a very important pair of words, a trade commission called the Codex Alimentarius Commission. It is not a public health commission. It is not a consumer protection commission. It is a trade commission. Trade is about what? Money. Business. Trade is about profit. Well, they said in 1962, we're going to work toward total global implementation of Codex Alimentarius on December 31st, 2009. Long term. Codex, according to the World Trade Organization and the Food and Agriculture Organization joint projections. Now, I didn't make this up. If you do the numbers in the WHO FAO projections, the epidemiological projections, they estimate, not I, because what do I know? They estimate, they're the experts, that just the vitamin and mineral guideline alone, when it goes into global implementation on December 31st, 2009, will result in a minimum of 3 billion, that's B, bad, big, billion deaths. 1 billion through simple starvation. Those folks who die are not particularly economically successful from the point of view of the corporations. When you're starving to death, how much good can you do when the issue is how much can you buy? Not a lot. Forget them. But the next 2 billion, they will die from the preventable diseases of undernutrition. Cancer, the single most profitable condition ever known to humankind. Cardiovascular disease, a good second. Diabetes, pretty good producer. And a whole host of other preventable diseases. Who will die? Who knows? Who will live? Probably those people who are wealthy enough and powerful enough to have their own pushers of clean food and nutrients. That's who will live. You and I? Probably not. Our children? Probably not. Our grandchildren? Probably not. So we're talking about food regulations that are in fact the legalization of mandated toxicity and undernutrition. It will be illegal if there's a famine in, wherever there's a famine, to ship high nutrient density biscuits to that country. And it will be illegal to distribute them. That's what we're talking about. Codex is big and it's bad.
Turn them off!
This is the theater of the absurd, my friends. This is the theater of the absurd.